Okay, so we would like to start off the class with the understanding of the word essay. And from what I have here in the PowerPoint, what is an essay? Because what we normally do in master's degree, at the end of the day, you have to write independent studies or thesis. Which one are you doing now?
Independent study.
Independent studies. Can I hear from your? Can you use the microphone so I hear what you're saying? What? Which one are you doing? Independent studies.
Independent studies.
And how about you, Summer? Use microphone because I want to hear you clearly. What are you? Are you doing independent studies or thesis?
Independent study.
Independent studies.
Yeah.
Okay. So whether you call it independent studies or you call it thesis, they are all essay. But the point is that an essay in primary school might be just half of paragraph. I mean, half of a paper. An essay in the secondary school might be just one page. Then in the university, bachelor's degree, it might be about one or 2 pages or 3 pages. But then in master's degree, it will now be about 40 pages or 50 pages. And that is what you call independent studies. And that is called thesis. They are all parts of essays, types of essays. Okay, now, what is an essay? An essay is a composition, usually 5 or more paragraphs. 5 or more paragraphs that you discuss one topic in much more detail than you could in a single paragraph. I don't know if you're getting the point. In an essay, if it is in a primary school, secondary school, yes, of course, you might use this word 5 or more paragraphs. It can also be whether you're a PhD student, write a 1-page essay, 2 pages, 3 pages, depending. But then the longer part of essay is that what you call independent studies. So, what are their parts? The parts of an essay. What do you see on the board? Introduction, body, and conclusion. Introduction, body, and conclusion. That means that when you will start to write your independent studies, chapter 1 is called what? Introductory part. Then the rest, you might consider that as body, and then conclusion, where you make a recommendation. But if you're writing 1-page essay, I often use this word, a good teacher. A good teacher. If you want to write about a good teacher, example, 1 page of an essay about a good teacher. Number 1, the first paragraph will be introductory paragraph. In that introductory paragraph, what are you going to do? You are going to introduce the work. You are going to show that in this particular essay, you will be talking about a good teacher. And then you mention about 3 or 4 qualities of good teachers that you would like to talk about. That is introductory part of the essay. Everybody that reads introductory part of the essay will know exactly what you want to talk about and what you're about to say and the way you want to say it. That is why introduction, call it introductory part. Then in the body, you now see what we call body of the letter. Then you now develop those paragraphs you mentioned in the introductory part of it. Those ideas you mentioned, the topics you mentioned in the introductory part, you now develop them in the body. How do you develop them? For example, you mentioned that a good teacher is a good teacher, for instance, A good teacher is hardworking. Do you agree with that? A good teacher is hardworking. Can you tell me another quality of a good teacher? I mentioned hardworking. What another quality of a good teacher you remember? Use microphone, remember. Use microphone. What is another quality of a good teacher that you want to?
Punctuality.
Punctual. A good teacher is punctual. Okay, how about you, Summer?
I think the quality of good teacher is so many. Yeah.
I say one quality of a good
One. I think deliverable
teacher. Pardon?
can be deliver. Can deliver. It's a good teacher, right?
A good teacher. One quality of
Yeah.
a good teacher.
Deliver.
I cannot
Like-
hear you clearly.
Like the teacher can deliver the study, the learning process to their students.
So what?
I don't know how it's the right word.
I think that teacher
Can explain everything what the student want to know.
Oh, knowledgeable.
Yes.
Can we use knowledgeable?
Yeah.
Knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable.
Okay.
Thank you for.
Okay. Now, how many qualities of a good teacher have we mentioned here? How many? Hardworking,
working,
punctual,
knowledgeable.
knowledgeable. So, in the introductory paragraph, in the introductory statement, you are expected to mention these three qualities. Just to mention and not to explain. You have to mention. In introductory part, you are expected to tell us what you're about to talk about. So, what is the topic of this essay? Do you still remember? A good teacher. We are talking about a good teacher or qualities of a good teacher. So now, in the introductory part, you will be able to, you may start by saying, yes, I have met so many teachers. In fact, I have also met teachers that are not all that good, but I am more or less motivated by the good teachers that I have met. Therefore, I am here to talk about the qualities of good teachers that I've met. For example, one of the qualities would be hardworking. Then second one will be punctual. Then the third one will be knowledgeable. You put all these in the introductory part. That is the first paragraph. We call it introductory paragraph. Okay, now, what do you supposed to do in the next paragraph after introductory paragraph? After introduced, you must have introduced the essay. What will be the next thing to do? What will come after the introductory paragraph?
Maybe talking about the main topic.
The main topic is a good teacher. Always use that. The main
Yeah.
topic is a good teacher.
Yes, good teacher.
Yeah, but then after introducing the topic, after introducing the essay, what will be the next paragraph?
Yeah, talking more comprehensively about the good teacher. Maybe we can see the I don't know how. Yeah, the research. Maybe they have a research about the good teachers, like the definition, for example. I don't know.
Definition supposed to be
In
in the
introduction.
introductory
Yeah.
paragraph.
Yeah.
Then you mention the qualities of good teacher, the qualities of a good teacher. Then after the introductory paragraph, what's supposed to be the next paragraph?
Body. The body, right?
What I'm talking about paragraph. You have introduced the paragraph. After the introductory paragraph, what's supposed to be the next paragraph? Pardon? Can I hear from you?
The body paragraph of the
Body
essay.
paragraph.
Right.
What is supposed to be that?
So we can provide the detailed informations what we introduce in the introduction part.
So what is the detail? What is the detail?
So we can provide the more detail about the hard working.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I want you to know. That's what I want you to say. After the introductory part, remember you introduced how many qualities of a good teacher? 3. 1 is hardworking. 2 is punctual. 3 is knowledgeable. Then, after the introductory paragraph, the next thing you're supposed to do is to start to explain in detail one of each of the qualities. So you now select one quality and talk about it in another paragraph. Don't talk about any other qualities. You can only talk about one quality. That is what paragraph is. Paragraph is talking about one topic, one single idea. So introductory part is a good teacher is hardworking, punctual, and knowledgeable. So the next paragraph will be you mention one of the qualities. And one of the qualities here will be hardworking. Then you'll be able to tell us how a good teacher is hardworking. You said you provide the details. That is the only thing you can talk in that paragraph. Do not talk about punctuality. Do not talk about knowledge. No, because the paragraph. In this particular paragraph, after introductory paragraph, the next paragraph you talk about one of the qualities. And in this case, you talk about hardworking. Tell us how a good teacher is hardworking. Are you there? Tell us how a good. Then when you finish telling us about a good teacher, how a good teacher is hardworking in the second paragraph, what will be the third paragraph in this essay? Microphone. The first paragraph is what? Introductory paragraph. Are you there? In that introductory paragraph, you introduce the points. And in this particular essay, you have introduced 3 points. A good teacher is hardworking, a good teacher is punctual, a good teacher is not ready. That is introductory. You just mentioned. Then in the second paragraph, you have taken one of the qualities and explained. And the one of the qualities you're explaining here is hardworking. Am I correct? Okay. Then after explaining hardworking in the body paragraph, what in the body of the essay, what will be the next topic?
Punctual.
Punctual. What is punctual in this essay?
A quality of a good teacher.
Perfect. Another quality of a good teacher is what? A good teacher is punctual. He comes very early and waits and prepares and waits for the student. So now, how many paragraphs have we got now?
3 paragraphs.
3, yes. The first one is introductory paragraph where you
Introduction.
introduced all the points. Second one is one of the points you introduced, which is hardworking. Second one is punctual. That is the third paragraph. Then what will be the fourth paragraph in this simple essay? What's supposed to be the fourth paragraph?
Knowledge.
Can you use microphone so that I hear you?
Knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable, because knowledgeable is one of the qualities mentioned in the introductory part. Are you there? So, they're knowledgeable. So now, how many paragraphs have you written in this essay?
4.
4. Number 1, use the microphone. Number 1,
Introduction.
introductory paragraph. Number 2, hardworking, which is one of the topics. Then the number 3 paragraph number 3,
Punctual.
punctuality. Paragraph number 4.
Knowledgeable.
So now what would be the final paragraph in this essay?
Conclusion.
Conclusion. Conclusion. Correct. You see that? Parts of an essay. Introduction, body, and conclusion. Okay, from what we just said, what do you understand by introductory part? What is the introductory part of an essay?
We can introduce what we discussed or what we were discussed in this essay in the introduction part.
Then body, what do you understand by body of the essay? Body of the essay. Look at, I'm talking about this.
Yeah,
What do you understand by body of the essay?
the body. It's like bridging from the introduction. Yeah, I don't know how to say in English. This is something new for me, Prof.
Yes, so body of the
Yeah.
essay, what do you understand by that? Yes, of course, that's why you're a student, so that's why we're here to learn. If we know, we shouldn't be here.
Mm.
Even teachers, when we teach, we learn also.
So, usually I use like the problem analysis. So if the problem analysis is like from the introduction is like to analyze the problem, and then in the body's part is talking about the problem.
Yeah, but you're very correct actually. But we talked about an essay, a good teacher. If introductory paragraph, we list the qualities of this good teacher. Then, what are we supposed to be in the body? What do we do in the body?
Talking about the teacher, about
About what?
the good teacher.
And in what way?
It's more
In what way do you talk about?
in the more comprehensive way.
Correct. Yes, I don't know why. So that is it. So let's take it gradual as we know what is conclusion. Okay. Differences and similarities between a paragraph and an essay. A paragraph, look at how it's put here. Small scope, about 100 to 20 words. It might be more than this, it depends. Method of development, one written strategy. Essay, larger scope, 500 to 600 words. Method of development, either one writing strategy or a combination of writing strategy. So, can you tell me the difference between paragraph and essay? Remember what we talked about an essay, about a good teacher. An essay about a good teacher. So, can you tell me the difference between a paragraph and an essay?
Essay consists paragraph, but paragraph is not consist essay.
An essay consists paragraph, but paragraph does not consist.
Because it's short. Because it's short, right?
This is very smart way of running away from question. But actually, you got it, but I needed words to explain. So, what have you to say now?
So I think the paragraph will only explain about the one topic, but in the essay, there will be 3 or 4 part, like introduction, body
Very
part, and
good.
the conclusion.
Very good. That is why he said paragraph, essay includes paragraph, but paragraph does not include essay. Okay, so you got it very correctly. Paragraph talks about one single topic, one single idea. Remember the 3 qualities of a good teacher. You put them in paragraph, but the entire work is what? Essay. It's an essay. Essay is just like the general body. Just like you are inside the bus. Inside the bus. Have you entered the bus going from here? There is a bus. The bus itself, the entirety of the bus is an essay. But inside the bus, we see so many people, right? With different faces. with different clothes, with different kind of ideologies. So, essay is the general body, but then inside it, you use paragraph. Then what does paragraph do to essay? What do you think? What good is paragraph inside an essay? In an essay, what good is paragraph? What good is paragraph in an essay? You have to think. What good is paragraph in an essay?
I think that paragraph provide a clear format.
Perfect. Very good. It beautifies the essay, provides clear format, provide clear ideas how you where one idea stops and another idea starts. Because if without paragraph, oh, you just write, keep writing, no gap, no space or something like that. So paragraph beautifies an essay, and paragraph provides clear format, as you said. Okay, we'll move on. Similarities we have in an essay and paragraph are common features. Unity, support, coherence. Principle of organization, one main idea, topic sentence, thesis sentence, supporting paragraph, concluding sentence, and concluding paragraph. So, what is trying to say that one thing with an essay, with paragraph, is that unity. In an essay, is talking about one thing. And the paragraph will talk about the same thing, but in a detailed way inside that essay. Paragraph provides support in that essay. Paragraph supports coherence. Provides coherence. You are talking the same thing logically, sequentially, in the same essay. So that's why I said unity. What does that mean? Unity means that we are talking about a good teacher. You cannot just talk about pilot. You cannot start talking about motorbike. You cannot start talking about market, a woman in the market, or a seller, or a vendor. No, you are talking about a good teacher. So the essay and paragraph must be unified, must be united in one mission, and that is the mission to talk about a good teacher, qualities of a good teacher. So that's unity. The topic is a good teacher. So everything inside that essay, everything used, every paragraph will be telling us about what? A good teacher. Every support, every evidence, every detail must be telling us about a good teacher. So you cannot change another idea to start talking about babies, to start talking about hospital, to start talking about educational system, to start talking about a university. No, you are talking about what? A good teacher. So everything about that essay must be about a good teacher. Do you get that? Okay. So thesis statement. In this particular unit, thesis statement is statement purpose that tells what your essay is about. Thesis statement does the following. It states the main idea of the essay. It often leads to or more points of development. It may indicate the method of development of entire essay. It usually, but not always, appears at the last sentence of the introduction. Do you understand that? To make a statement of your thesis. In this essay, what should be our thesis statement? Can you tell me? The essay of a good teacher. So what should be our thesis statement?
I think that the quality of a good teacher is are the hardworking, and punctual, and knowledgeable.
I agree with you. And that's your thesis statement. You have met so many teachers, even the good and bad, but you are being motivated and you are being properly supported and then properly directed by good teachers you have met with so and so qualities. Just as you say, statement, thesis statement, talking about your teacher in a very short, simple paragraph. So you know what is the body already. You know that today the body is the largest and most important part of an essay because it contains the discussions of the thesis. That is the essay contains about the discussions about essay. As you said earlier, remember what you said about there's a way you explained it before. Discussion. There's a word you used about to discuss to talk about the body before when you were trying to explain.
Huh? Sorry?
Comprehensive.
Comprehensive.
So you use the word comprehensive, where you now delve into indeed that's the body. That's what the body does. Outlining the body, supporting the thesis, or ordering the body paragraph, linking one body paragraph to the next. Now, in the body, remember, our first paragraph is introductory paragraph, right? Where we mentioned 3 qualities of a good teacher. Then the second paragraph will be one of the qualities, and that is hardworking. So when you finish talking about hardworking, you will be able to link it with punctuality. So you don't just talk about hard work and stop abruptly. So you have to link how hardworking is a good quality of a good teacher, which now demonstrate the fact that he comes very early. He's always there in the class before students. Then you now start talking about punctuality. When you finish about punctuality, you now said even what you learn from a teacher, because he's punctual, he knows a lot, he prepares himself or herself a lot enough in the class. And because of that, he knows a lot, he's knowledgeable. Then you start to talk about knowledgeable. So one paragraph must link to the next. Coherence. One paragraph talking about hardworking. Towards the ending of talking about hardworking, you have to announce, you have to let us know that connect hardworking with punctuality. When you finish punctuality, connect punctuality with what? Knowledgeability. Knowledgeable. When you finish knowledgeable, then you conclude. Conclusion will connect everything you have said before. You restate. Are you there? Are you sure? Are you learning something?
I get the point for the connectivity. It's like a bridging from one issue to another.
Very good. You are not using microphone.
Sorry.
Maybe you have to put it there so that tell me what you said with microphone so that I understand. Can you repeat what you said?
So yeah, I got the point because I thought related to the connectivities from one to another is like the bridgings from one topic to another topic.
Very good. Connecting one
Yes,
topic
connecting.
to another topic.
Yeah,
You cannot just say it after one paragraph, you just stop.
yeah.
You have to launch it. Use very nice words, linking words,
Linking. Okay.
or linking phrases. Some people will say, however, haven't talked about punctuality of a good teacher. Now I want to show how a good teacher is very knowledgeable. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, which is we talk about what do we understand by introduction? What does introduction do in an essay? Introduction is the first part of an essay. You know that? It may consist of one or more paragraphs depending on the length of the essay, correct? Introduction might be one paragraph, might be two, might be three, might be four. For example, in your independent studies, how many how many paragraphs do you think your introduction will just guess? How many paragraphs in your independent studies?
So I think 4 or 5 for the introduction part.
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's a master's degree introductory part of the essay. So they are ordinarily supposed to have about 5 up. Either 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 20. But then what is an introduction? Why do we introduce our topics? It captures readers' attention. You get that? Anybody that reads your introduction might love to read your paper. It introduces the essay's topic. It's not just that a good teacher. You have to say so many things about teachers. You have to talk about teachers. You have to talk about teaching. You have to say something about teaching. Okay.
Can we maybe from the general issues and then to be specific?
Perfect. We're supposed to clap hands for you. The introductory part captures readers' attention. So you start to talk about so many teachers in the world. Why teaching is very, very important. Why teaching is a good profession. Why teaching is a good occupation. Why teaching is a good vocation. But then, now you can also say the bad teachers you have met, teachers that are not so good, according to your view, in your own opinion, because maybe they are the best, but you didn't see it that way. So talk about the teachers you have not met, that are not good for you. Then we now talk about the ones that are good and mention that. Well, all these are what you can say from general to specific. Sometimes you start from specific to general. It depends on the way you structure your introductory part. It gives background information about the topic. That's exactly what I said. It presents the main idea of an essay in the thesis statement. It leads to the discussion of the main idea in the body. What do you mean by this? Introduction leads to the discussion of the main idea in the body. Tell me what this means. With the example we just... Introduction leads to the discussion of the main idea in the body. Tell me what we mean by this. Yes?
Like you mentioned earlier, if at the beginning we are talking about the good teacher, so in the body also should talk about the good teacher. Cannot cannot discuss another thing, you know. So it's the leading how, for example, like maybe in introductions process we just talking about the good teacher, but in the detail we were talking about the body, in the body part. Yeah. How about you?
Nan, how about you? That's good. That's good.
Okay. In my point of view, I think that we already framed what we were discussing in the body part. So we framed the 3 quality in the introduction part. So I think that the introduction give the outline for the body part.
Very good. That's it. It leads to the discussion of the main idea in the body. Remember, in introductory part, we said earlier, you are talking about a good teacher, right? And a good teacher is hardworking. A good teacher is punctual. A good teacher is knowledgeable. So the introductory part, that's what it means here. It leads to the discussion of the main idea in the body. So introduction will be able to tell us what you are going to talk in the body. And what are you going to talk about a good teacher? Hardworking, punctual, and knowledgeable. Do you get that? Okay, so having known introduction, we now go to conclusion. What does conclusion do? Conclusion should be short and it is usually 3 or 4 sentences and are required to conclude a 5 paragraph essay or just bigger essay, whichever one. So what is the purpose of conclusion? It gives readers sense of completeness. People know that now you have completed what you're about to write, what you have been writing. It generally restates the main idea of the essay. If the introduction announces what will be discussed, conclusion sums it up, what has been said. Remember, in introduction, what we are about to talk about is about a good teacher. That is in the future, just like future tense. I will talk about a good teacher. I will talk about how a good teacher is hardworking. I will talk about how a good teacher is punctual. I will talk about how a good teacher is knowledgeable. You were still at that time telling us what you would do. You see, you told us, you announced what you will do. Are you seeing the difference? In introduction, you announced what you will do in this essay or what the reader is going to see in this essay. But then in the conclusion, what do? You are telling us what you have done. I mean, I'm not sure if you are getting the point. Introduction is what you are going to do or what you will do. So the reader may not have seen what you did, but introduction is telling him or her what he will see. But the conclusion is repeating what you have said and what you have discussed about. Are you getting the point? Sure? Conclusion gives the last chance to emphasize the importance and validity of the writer's ideas. It makes a final and lasting impression on the readers. You know, all this is depending on how you put it. Conclusion might be very sweet. You might use a very nice word to say the same thing you said in the introduction. In the conclusion, you are repeating exactly the same thing you said in the introduction. Am I communicating? Are you sure? In the conclusion, you are repeating the same thing. In the introduction, we talk about a good teacher, right? We said he's very hardworking. We say a good teacher is punctual. A good teacher is knowledgeable. You introduce what you are going to write in your essay. But in the conclusion, you now repeat the same thing. You cannot bring new thing. You just tell us what you have talked about. And what you have talked about is about hardworking, punctual, and knowledgeable as good qualities of a good teacher. Hello? What do you understand? Can you tell me if you understood it very clearly? Tell me.
I don't know. Maybe I just confused on the type of writing. Maybe because I was thinking, oh, maybe in every writing, if we are talking about the conclusion, is we are trying to driving the reader to be in our side, like try to influence someone's perspective or someone's behavior or something like that, or like uh, asking asking them or drive them to taking an actions, to following our agenda or our topic or anything. Yeah.
You are very correct. It's part of conclusion, but you will put it in a way that you will repeat what you have done. What you said is okay, but then, because it's not just one sentence,
Yeah.
it's not just 2 sentences. No. Conclusion might be 1 page, 2 page, or 3 page. So it includes what you just said.
Yeah.
But then you are now, look at what you put number 2. Say it gives the last chance to emphasize the importance and validity of the writer's idea. That's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
The last chance for the reader to actually clap hand for you. You see that? Now, what do you understand by a good teacher?
Well, I think that it is a short version of the what we discussed in the introduction part and in the body part. So we remind the readers. So this is a conclusion part and what we discussed in the whole story, and we can connect with the recommendation and also
Very good.
recommendation.
Very good. So I'm very glad that you guys are getting it. So now we move to the next concluding signals to let the readers know that this is the end of your essay. Look at the words normally some people use. They say in conclusion, in a summary, in brief, in short, indeed, to conclude, to summarize, thus, therefore, all in all, and so forth and so on. You see the kind of word. So people get to know that you are now concluding. An essay, whether it's in the form of independent studies or thesis, is just like a journey that starts from the morning. You wake up from your bed, you shower, you put on your dress, and then you want some people they had breakfast, some people don't. Then you keep moving in the lunchtime. Then you go and then help yourself with lunch. Then after that, what else are we going to eat again? Dinner at night. Then what next? We sleep. That is how essay is all about. Introductory, body, conclusion. You get that? The unit 5 of this book that I'm using talks about using sources to support ideas in an essay. If you are writing independent studies, you have to support your idea, meaning that you have to go and look for what people have written before. That is the one we call literature review. What people have written before. You get that? To support ideas in an essay, you may use information from such sources as books, magazines, newspapers, the internet, and so on. How to quote the information to support your essay. For example, according to High, from his first place through his last, William seems to see life as a game which cannot be won. In one way or another, almost all his characters are defeated. Do you see? Inverted comma, open and close, because you are quoting what somebody has said. Those are not your words. So you need to put it in a quotation mark. According to Samuel, according to Nan, according to Dr. Emmanuel, then you say what the person said and put this exact quotation. You put it inverted comma, open and close. So these are the ways you have to support your essay, support your independent studies, support your thesis, depending on the one you are doing. Using sources to support ideas in an essay. Sometimes a good teacher is hardworking. You have to quote what is hardworking. What do you mean by hardworking? Maybe some people have written something about hardworking. You have to quote those people. Then a good teacher is punctual. What do you mean by punctual? Because, for example, in some part of the continent, punctuality means when they finish doing what they want to do. For example, in those days in Africa, there were stories of some reverend fathers, priests, missionaries. They would talk with they are faithful, and then they will all agree that they will meet by 9 a.m. So 9 a.m. the missionaries they came, but they agreed with everybody they would be there at 9 a.m. Do you know when the people started coming? The people started coming by 12 noon, because that was their own time. That's what we call African time. You may agree with 9, but time means when I finish doing what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if you're getting it. Is it like that in Myanmar? Do you maintain time, or you just time inflexible? You can use mine.
But I think it is depend on the word nature. Sometimes flexible, but sometimes really punctual.
Okay, so it's time. Well, it's time. Just nine on the dot, or just a little bit. 10 minutes late, 20 minutes late, 30 minutes, or 1 hour late, or 2 hours late. How do you use time in your country?
I
Your
didn't get
experience
it.
of time.
How my experience of time?
Must it be exact time?
Mm, every night, so I have to walk with my dog at night, bring them
Very
walk
good.
around.
So you have to do your own things before you now attend to
Yeah.
other things. But it's not like that in Europe. So Asians and Africans are the same with time. But it's not like that in Europe. In Europe, once it's 9, 10 is 10. Some European students in this university, sometimes, the time starts by 9 a.m. 8:50, they are already in the class. While Asian students and African students are taking their time. They come by 9:10 or 9:20. But European students they will always be available before the time. So, punctuality, you might try to quote sources to support what you mean by punctuality. And someone may have written something about punctuality, and that is what you can quote to mean your own understanding of punctuality as an evidence of support. What you mean by punctuality? A teacher who starts teaching by 9, because some continents, if class is 9 and you start teaching by 9 and students are not there, how can you teach? Or will the teacher start teaching himself or herself? You see that? So punctuality could also be different thing for different people. So, but then when you use sources to support your idea, we'll be able to know what you mean by punctuality and the person you are following his ideas. It helps in an academic writing. Any question about sources? Any question? So, comparison. Okay.
About the sources, do we also have to put the link news or something like that update on our Eassy?
Whether you want to do what?
For example, like there's sources from the media, from the online newspaper. So to 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 contribute, yeah, while they have statement or report or anything on the internet, where we want to put it on our Eassy, we also have to put the link.
Yes, but remember you put the link in the reference.
Oh, in the reference,
But in the citation, you just put the
not
page. Look
here.
at this one. So you only put the page and only say according to high. You see? But then the full knowledge of the full name, the year of publication,
Yeah, the year
and
publication.
whatever it is that required should be in the reference page, the last page.
Okay. Thank
Is
you.
that correct? Thank you. That is a very nice observation. Okay, so now we get to, there's this topic I want to talk about, comparison and contrast. What is comparison and contrast? Essay. Comparison and contrast essay is a discussion of the similarities and or differences between two or more items, such as objects, people, places, ideas, events, problems, and so forth. Common features of a comparison and contrast essay. It compares and contrasts at least two items. It has a purpose or makes a significant point of comparison and or contrast. It uses one of the two basic patterns of organization, the block pattern and point by point pattern. So this is just a format of writing. What we're saying here, can you compare and contrast now? Tell us the microphone. Can you compare and contrast myself and Samuel? Imagine if you are writing
With someone.
compare and contrast
Contrast.
myself and Samuel.
So with someone.
Pardon?
With someone.
Yeah, he's Samuel.
Yeah.
His name is Samuel.
With someone.
Compare and contrast two of us.
Okay. The professor is more taller than the summer.
I am more taller
Taller
than
than
Samuel.
summer.
Is that compare or is that contrast?
Comparison. Comparison.
Look at the word there. Compare and comparison and contrast. These are two
Comparison.
words.
I think that is a
Two different
comparison.
words.
Comparison.
So now again,
Yeah. The professor is taller than the summer.
is that comparison or contrast?
Comparison. Is that correct?
Let me allow you to use your phone. Do you know the answer? Can you use your phone?
But I was I'm a bit agree with her. Like
But that's not the appropriate answer.
mm,
Can you Google? Can you check on your phone right away? I want you to learn that before I start. What is comparison and what is contrast? What is comparison and what is contrast? Compare and contrast.
comparisons focus on similarity, contrast focus on differences.
You see that? You get that? So now again, compare myself, contrast myself with someone.
So we both come from the Asian
Myself
continent.
and he.
Okay. The professor is African and Summer is Asian. So
Is that comparison or contrast?
there's a contrast.
Okay, number one.
Comparison is they both are from the MAPD program.
But I'm not a student. But I'm not a student of But I'm not a student of MAPD program. I'm not a student.
Yeah.
So
Um,
that should be
so
compare or contrast.
both are sitting in the MAPD classroom. Both are sitting in
Okay.
the MAPD classroom. That's
But I can you okay now, Samuel, can you compare yourself and myself? Compare and contrast.
Okay, let me think. Contrast focus on differences. We are both come from different region.
Is that contrast or
Contrast.
okay?
Yeah. We both are men, but we have different sexual orientation.
Is that contrast
Similarity.
or compare?
Oh, this might be similarity and compare because we both are men.
Okay, compare. We are both
We
man,
both
right?
are men,
We are both male.
but you are more handsome.
We are both male.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you are more handsome.
How can I be
For
more handsome than you?
example, this is just an example.
Okay, yeah. You see, that is very good. So, what do we have in common? Similarity. He's a male. He's a male, and I'm a male. That is comparison. Contrast is that I am black, and I don't know, is it white or brown? Then I may be taller, and he is shorter or average. So that is contrast. But then the compare is that we are all human beings, and then we are all male, and then our hair are all black. You see that? So what we have in common is compare, but what we have, the differences, is what you can see as contrast. Okay, now, Samuel, can you compare and contrast myself with Nan?
Compare focus on similarity. Both of you are part of the MPAD.
MAPD.
MAPD in
But I'm
Siam
not a
University.
student of MAPD.
But no, but the contrast is you are a professor and she's
Student.
Student.
Very good. Then what else? What is the comparison?
What else? You are man, she's a woman.
Is also, I'm a man, she's a woman.
Huh?
I'm a man, he's a woman.
Yeah, so it's the
That's
the
contrast.
contrast.
There
Yeah.
was comparison.
Comparisons. Yeah, the comparison is you are professor, she's a student, and
That is contrast.
really?
Yes, of course, that's the differences.
Give me an idea. Similarity. You are in the same education system, but you have different rules.
If you use different, not contrast. So
Oh,
you have
it might
to
be
compare.
But with the but play different. Still,
A contrast.
yeah,
So
still.
it's supposed to be that we are all in the same department.
Mm. Okay, I get
But if
I
you
get
go,
one. I get
if
one.
you go further, we are all the stakeholders in MAPD program.
Mm.
He's a stakeholder as a student. I'm a stakeholder as a
Yeah.
professor.
Yeah,
Understand?
yeah.
So that is a comparison.
This comparison, yeah. So
But then we play different role.
yeah, we are in
Which is
English
contrast.
we are in English class, but she's a student.
That is a contrast.
We still need to practice, you know.
Okay. Okay, so you got it very clearly, right? You understood it clearly, right? Difference between comparison and contrast essay. Okay. What about cause and effect essay? Cause and effect essay. What is a cause and effect essay? When the purpose of your essay is to explain the reason for or the result of a situation, you will use causal analysis as a method of development. Something causes the other one. I got F in my class because I did not read. Why did I get F in my class? Because I did not study. So not studying causes the fact that I could not get a good grade. Do you understand? I did not take exam because I did not pay my school fees. Because I did not pay my school fees, I was not allowed to take exam. So non-payment of school fees causes not taking the exam. Cause and effect. Do you have any example for me? Any example of cause and effect?
So, um, 11 civilians died because of the military airstrike.
Okay. So, somebody have any example for cause and effect?
I left the office earlier because I have to study.
Okay, you left the office early because you have to study.
Yeah,
The reason you left the office is because you're going to study.
I'm going to study.
Okay, wonderful.
Is that correct?
Yes. Common characteristics of cause and effect essay. The main point of essay aims at explaining a causal relationship of two situations. The essay may examine either causes or effects or both. It uses specific examples, facts, or details to explain these causes and or effects. The causes and effects are usually presented in chronological, enumerative, and or emphatic order. Emphatic order. So some common characteristics of cause and effect. Something caused the other. That is why something happened. Do you have any problem with this topic, cause and effect? I did not look very well, so I had an accident. He took drug, and so it affected his brain. Drug abuse leads to so many vices. So in that essay, you have to explain, or depending on the way you want, something happens, something, so you have to be able to show evidence, try to explain that actually this causes this. What is an argumentative essay? Argumentation is aimed at persuading a reader to accept a writer's viewpoint on a controversial issue. Argumentative essay has the following features. It involves a controversial issue about which people have differing views, pro and con. It states the writer's stand on the issue, whether the writer is on the pro side or the con side. It presents logical arguments to prove that writer's viewpoint is valid. It raises counter-arguments against the writer's viewpoint and tries to prove that the opposing arguments are wrong or unconvincing. Argumentative essay. What do you understand by that? Argumentative essay, because when you write your independent studies, you have to argue your way out. The argumentative essay, what does that mean? I've read it, but what do you understand by that? Argumentative essay. Samuel said this. Even though he said this, he was correct in this so and so point. But I disagree with Samuel in so and so point. Why did I disagree with him? Because of so and so many reasons. That is argumentative. You have to show, you have to tell us. I agree with Nan about the issue of being a good teacher. But then the point he in trying to explain in her essay the qualities of teachers and the examples he gave could not convince me. Therefore, I don't think she's correct. Then I will now offer my own. Why my own is the right thing and her own is the wrong thing. I have to also give an example. But then I have to first of all accept what she said and argue my way, marshal out my points, state my ideas. Of course, I have to state her own ideas too. I have to make sure I enumerate, analyze, critically look at what he said, and then come up with my own stand in order to prove that my own idea is better and convincing. Her own idea is wrong and unconvincing. That is argumentative essay. You get that? Any question? Don't be narrow-minded person, be open-minded one. Thank you so much. Thank you. Don't be narrow-minded. Okay. Any question for today's so what have you to what is the question? Ask a question. What we have studied so far. Don't forget a good teacher, introductory part, then paragraph to explain, then conclusion. So what do you understand in today's class?
Professors, I understand clearly how should we make a format for the essay? How should we make a format for the essay? But I have one question. I'm a little
You
bit
can bring it down because you will still be here. Okay.
yeah. So I'm a little bit confused. What is the difference between the abstracts and the conclusion?
Wow. That's a very nice question. That's what I actually explained in one of my YouTube channels too. Abstract first of all, abstract is a kind of comprehensive and short summary of what your paper is all about. Number one, abstract. You have to tell us in abstract why you are writing what you are writing. You have to tell us in an abstract what motivated you. What motivated your writing? Why are you writing what you are writing? You have to tell us what is your objective. Of course, it might be why you are writing. Then you have to tell us how. How did you get the result? How? How? And then what actually is the result? What did you find? You can get 4W and 1H. That is abstract. Depending on the way you argue it, but there must be why do you write? Why are you writing? What happened? What are you talking about? What is your motivation? What is the objective? Then what is the method you are using to do that thing you are doing? What actually did you find? What did you find? So abstract will carry all this, but introduction will not. Introduction is just to capture your audience to read your paper. But abstract is just like summary of the entire paper. But introduction is introducing you to the paper. Introduction introduces you to the paper, introduces the reader what he's going to see. But abstract is more than that. Abstract is saying both in the what is introduction, at the same time what the entire work, what was done there, and the result and the finding. I don't know if you get it. Are you sure? Introduction, you are introducing something. You are introducing something that should be seen in the paper. But abstract is believe that you have finished writing the paper. It includes both introduction, the body, and conclusion in a manner that you have just summarized the entire paper. But introduction introduces what you are going to see in the paper, what you are going to write in the paper. But abstract is that you have finished the paper, and somebody who may not like to read the entire paper, you have said a lot of things within a short period of time or within just 250 words. Somebody may have seen exactly what you are, where you are going, and your point of direction. Do you get that?
So, is this a short version of a paper? Is this correct?
It could be depending on the way you interpret short version, but that could be very short, very mild, because the paper in question might be so big, but abstract just 250 words or sometimes 150. So just summarize the entire thing about that. Then the details are there inside if you want to go and read the paper. But abstract is believed that the paper has been finished. But introductory is just the introducing what is going to happen in the paper. It doesn't carry how. If he carries how, he carries the type of how he will use. But abstract is carrying the how that is used, that was used. How meaning methodology. The method that was used to get the result. Introduction has not given a result. He has not given a result. But abstract must carry the result, the finding. But introduction has not reached to that finding. It's just in the process of going to the road, waking up in the morning, introductory part. Yeah, how can he know about the dinner? But he just finished eating breakfast. Introduction is just in the level of breakfast. But abstract is both breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a very short form. I don't know if you get it. Are you there? Okay. Any other question? Okay. Thank you very much for today, and I think we end it today. Thank you very much. We see again next. We see again next week. All right. Yes. Thank you.